Hey guys, Jill here from Ask About Tech. Today we're going to be talking about how to properly clean your litter robot 4. Regular cleaning makes it run smoothly and it reduces odors and it just makes your cat way happier. Let's get started. We need to run an empty cycle so that we can empty all the old litter out, and it's as simple as pressing this button. It is going to rotate backwards and it is going to dump all of the old litter down into the litter tray through that square opening right there. Just like it does when it empties out the poop, it just is going to dump all the litter out this time. There'll be no litter left in the machine. As you can see, there's a bunch of litter along the edge there that's kind of stuck. It's kind of gross. It's like tracks of poop. Anyway, we got to get that all cleaned out of there because the litter robot's not going to work properly if it's dirty. I'm going to dump all the excess litter out of the tray step there. It gets stuck in there every once in a while, and a good whack on the back of it will knock it in there, and then whatever's left, just vacuum it out. And then I'm going to slide the bag up underneath here because we'll need to remove the litter fence or guard. We're going to want to wipe that down as well, and that piece is there to keep excess litter inside the globe, so it gets pretty gross. We're going to unplug it from the wall, slide it out of there so I can actually work on it because it's in kind of a small area. We're going to press those black buttons right there, one on each side. It might pop back down, but it's not going to latch. And then you press this one, and then the whole top piece comes right off. Just be careful because it is plastic. You can see there's like dust and debris up in there too, so it definitely needs to be washed out. And then we're going to remove the filter. We're going to throw this filter away because it is disgusting. And we're going to wipe all that area down right there too, just to make sure it's nice and clean. Now, we got to remove the globe, and the globe just sits down there. There's actually like a little spot right there that you can just pick it up out of, and it kind of pulls back. Look how gross that is. Ew, that's sitting in my house. All right, we got to get this bugger cleaned up. I want to vacuum this square opening here because there's like little bristles there that help like clean the litter box and all that, like as it's circulating. But this is pretty gross. I want to get all the dust and dirt and dander and stuff off of there. And then I'm going to run the vacuum around in the bottom there because I knocked a bunch of stuff down in there. Just going to use a mild pet safe cleaner here, and we're just wiping everything down, getting every little bit of dust and yuck off of there. Ew, gross. And then we're going to turn it around. We're going to do the same thing in there. You saw the underside of that hood, so that means that's touching that whole area. So it needs a good wipe down as well. And I did rough up those little fibery things just because there was a bunch of debris in there. By the time I'm done washing the globe, those will be nice and dry and I won't have to worry about it. You'll be really careful while you're wiping things down that you don't get any liquid on the electronic parts of this, the wires, the buttons, any of that kind of stuff. And like those wires underneath there, we do not want to get those wet at all. We're also going to wipe down those sensors at the top of the globe. Those are up kind of by your buttons if you're looking at it while it's standing up. You got to keep those clean because if you don't, the litter robot won't work properly. And I recommend cleaning them every time you clean the litter robot. So I took my globe outside. I live in the country, so I'm able to take it right outside and rinse it out. If you didn't have anywhere like that, you could wash it in your bathtub. You're just going to want to make sure you get most of that powder out before you start rinsing it down your drain because it is a clay-based powder. So you don't want to clump up your drain. I just used a mild pet safe cleaner here and spritz it in there, and then I just use a scrub brush and then I get everything all scrubbed down, even the outside, just because, well, it's in my house and I want it clean. I rinsed it off really good and then I set it off to the side to just air dry. We're going to fill it up with some soap and water and get to scrubbing. If your litter robot is really dirty, you might need to rinse and scrub a couple times, adding more detergent as you go. It's a good idea to deem one of your scrub brushes just for the litter robot so that you don't mix up what you're using the scrub brush for. I did not use any bleach. I did use just a soap. As you're scrubbing the internals of this litter robot globe, you can kind of pick up that little spot that has the tiny little holes in it where the litter kind of siphons in there. You need to scrub up underneath there too, because even though mostly clean litter ends up in there, there are still little tiny chunks that end up in there. So yeah, we want to get that nice and washed. And then I just sloshed the soap around a lot in there too. That helped kind of break up stuff and get it scrubbed again. And then I dumped it out and I rinsed it off. I rinsed out the outside too, just because it was gross. There was stuff everywhere. Give it a good old rinse and rinse up in there too, because you don't want to leave soap. And then just dump it out. Oh man, look how clean this came. That makes my heart smile. Now that it's all sat and dried for a few hours, I brought it back in the house. I double checked everything to make sure it was completely dry. Now, we're going to put this back together the same way we took it apart. So the square opening goes to the bottom. And we're just going to set it in there quite gently. It'll eventually kind of flop in there. But make sure that you check this back area right here. It needs to be sat down inside there, because if it doesn't sit flat down in there, the lid will not go on properly. It will be really hard fiddling with it and you'll be getting really frustrated. We're going to install the new carbon air filter back here, get that in there, and then it's time to put the lid on. You just take the back side, you drop it down those two little grooves, just like this, and then drop it forward and it will clip right down and it'll snap into place. You'll hear 2 clicks when it's snapped into place. And if you're not sure, just kind of wiggle it. And if it comes back off, it's not in place. There is naturally a little thin gap right there at the top, so don't panic if you see that. Now, if you're like me, you probably vacuumed the entire area while you had the litter robot out, but if you haven't done that, you should do that now. I vacuumed off, I didn't video it, but I vacuumed off the little step there and got that guy nice and clean so that he can go back inside there. And then a new trash bag in there. These are just 13-gallon trash bags. Litter Robot does sell their own Litter Robot trash bags, but white 13-gallon trash bags work great for me. That's what I use. We got to put the guard back on yet, and then we're going to snap it in there. Plug it in. Press cycle. It's going to reset your litter robot so that you can pour fresh litter in there and it'll be like a brand new litter box. As soon as it's done cycling, then it's time to add fresh litter. And whether you use the Litter Robot litter or you use your own brand of litter, this is the time to add it. And after that's added, then you're going to need to press the reset button or the cycle button, whichever you choose. I chose the cycle button because I wanted the litter to be laying flat in there and give it more surface area. But you can just press the reset button, and what that does, it lets the litter robot know that you've added litter and that there's not still an animal inside of it, because it might get confused because there's new weight in there. And that's it. Your litter robot is fresh, clean, and ready for your cat to enjoy. For the best results, I do quick wipe downs in between like my deep cleaning schedule. I replace my filter every month and I deep clean mine every 2 months. But I only have 2 cats that use it. If you don't already have your very own Litter Robot 4, there's a link in the description where you can purchase one and get a discount too, if you choose so. Remember, I'm here for you, you're here for your pet. Have a great day.